Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Friday, the 24th of June. With Robert Murray McShane, we today read Isaiah chapter 56. And it is the promise of God to the people that he will be with them. And he challenges them, maintain justice, live right. And then he says in verse 3, let no foreigner who is bound to the Lord say, the Lord will surely exclude me from his people. And let no eunuch complain, I'm only a dry tree. For this is what the Lord says to the eunuch who keeps my Sabbaths, who chooses what pleases me and holds fast to my covenant. To them I will give within my temple and its walls a memorial and a name better than sons and daughters. And as I read that, I was thinking, it's so easy to exclude people. And in a sense, the people of Israel were right in their understanding. They were the chosen people. God had come to them. He'd called Abraham. They were the descendants of Abraham. They were heirs of the promise. They had the law. They had the prophets. That was their inheritance. And foreigners didn't have that. They came along and they weren't part of the people of Israel. And it was very easy to exclude them. And God says here, don't exclude them. If they are walking with me, they will be included. Likewise with eunuchs. They couldn't have children. And if you can't have children, there's no descendants. And when you think of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you're talking about grandfather, father, son, and their descendants, which would be as numerous as the stars of the sky. And as a eunuch, you couldn't contribute to that. Therefore, you were sort of on the side. You didn't really count. And God says, no, I will give you an inheritance better than sons and daughters. And it made me think of the kind of people that we sometimes exclude in our fellowship, in our churches. And sometimes we do it unwittingly. And people come and they just don't feel comfortable. And we need to be so careful of that. Irrespective of how right we might think our judgment is, we must be very careful of excluding people. If people exclude themselves, that is different. But when people come to be part of the fellowship, we need to make sure that they're welcome. And on the flip side, we need to recognize that God welcomes us. And if people might look askance at us and think, oh, you've done this, or you've been there, or you like this, or whatever their judgment might be, God doesn't look at it that way. And he welcomes us, as he does with the eunuchs. If you keep my Sabbaths and choose what pleases me and hold fast to my covenant. In other words, if you're walking with me, if you're identifying with me, if you're part of my people and my program, I will welcome you. And if God welcomes people, we should not exclude them, because that will put a wall between us and our Father. So know that you are welcome, and be challenged at the fact that some of those dodgy characters that we have about, they're also welcome. And we need to welcome them and make them part of the family. So be challenged and be blessed.